You can get a great sounding pair of earbuds with 40 hours of playback time, a wireless charging case, and a transparency hear-through mode for only $50. That is the Firefly Vintage earbud. So I was sent the Firefly Vintage by Jabees to test them out. Nothing was paid, nothing was promised. They are seeing this for the first time at the same time that you are. But I will say these are actually excellent budget earbuds. This is the sound of the Firefly Vintage microphones. With 4 mics, your calls should be clear and very intelligible. Each earbud comes with 10 hours of playback time with 3 more charges totaling 40 hours, as well as it takes 45 minutes for a complete charge. So you really shouldn't have to stay close to an outlet or charger with these. It has a standard design, but that's not a bad thing. It also comes with 6 different ear tips. 3 tips are more wider and 3 tips are more narrower for different kinds of ears. So whatever ear size or ear shape you have, these shouldn't have an issue when it comes to fit. As for the case, it comes in a good size. Here's the AirPods Pro for comparison, or the Sony 1000 XM4s, but also it uses USB-C charging and of course Qi wireless charging. So the Firefly Vintage comes in 2 colors, standard black, but I had to go with the bronze. I think it perfectly encapsulates the vintage look. When it comes to the sound, the Firefly Vintage is phenomenal. For audio, for podcasts, for music, here are just some of the earbuds that I've collected over the past few months at varying prices, $200, $80, whatever. But as a whole, I find that there's not a major difference in sound with these collectively than there is with this. It just sounds like it belongs, and you will not be disappointed when it comes to the sound of the Firefly Vintage. So the Firefly Vintage does have a transparency mode, but I did notice a little hiss or some feedback. It sounded like rain or like a waterfall far away in the distance. I don't know if it's just this specific model, but it is something to just be aware of. It does have 3 modes which you can access through the Jabees app. So each mode is supposed to isolate or hone in on something specific. Of course, you have your indoor mode, your outdoor mode. I don't see a major difference between the two, but when actually you use the public transportation mode, you see your largest difference as it drowns out a lot of your low frequency, low bass noises. So if you're on public transport, this will definitely be able to drown out a lot of the noise that you hear. Here's an example. So the Firefly Vintage has a hybrid control system where you're able to not only press, but tap your earbuds to control. I just turned it on. You're able to press as well as tap, so that way you can activate different functions of your earbuds. Woo, that was loud. For example, here is me double tapping to play or pause. And then, for example, on the left earbud, you can press to turn on your transparency mode. It's an incredible little system where you use a variety of having touch-based controls with pressing button controls. So it really opens up the amount of things that you can have control over. The Firefly Vintage has a gaming mode, and this lowers your latency between media. An example of latency is you're watching a YouTube video, let's say this video, and you're listening to a new pair of earbuds with high latency. You'll see that my mouth is moving and it takes a while for the sound to reach you. That is very high latency. Low latency allows it to finally sync back up. By the time you're seeing my mouth move, you're hearing the noise that's coming out of it. It's a very good feature to have. So with the gaming mode, you're able to lower your latency for improved functionality. Someone in my comments once wrote that price is not a quality indicator. You can't tell how good something is by its price. I agree with them with a caveat. There are expectations of features or quality that we tend to find among certain price ranges, especially for earbuds. So when you have a pair of earbuds with transparency mode, with a wireless charging case, sounds excellent for $50. That's not really something that is very common. And this is why I think the Firefly Vintage is Probably one of the best budget earbuds. If you want to learn more information about the Firefly Vintage or get your very own, I have a link in the description below. Subscribe if you want to see more concise reviews like these over here.